You hit the floor, knock out 20, maybe 30 push-ups, and then your arms lock up. No matter how many weeks you stick to your routine, that 100-rep milestone feels completely out of reach. Pushing past that plateau requires a level of intensity most routines avoid. It requires exposing the muscle to extreme tension, where the triceps are visibly trembling under the load, and you are fighting against the floor until your arms physically refuse to straighten. This chart compares two approaches. The flat bars represent traditional volume training, doing 3 fixed sets of 10 reps. The effort stops exactly when the set gets hard. The rising line graph demonstrates endurance failure, a method that continually forces the muscle past its previous limits. To get on that rising line and build extreme endurance, you have to stop counting reps. You replace the traditional rep goal with a protocol called the push-up progressive failure ladder. Executing this giant set requires almost zero equipment. A chair, a bench, or a simple counter, along with the floor space right in front of it, is everything you need. Standard sets leave fuel in the tank because they only challenge the muscle at one level of resistance. By forcing the chest and triceps to work through sequential mechanical disadvantages, you strip away the energy reserves that traditional training never touches, signaling the body to expand its endurance capacity. In the context of this routine, physical failure is highly specific. It does not mean stopping because the muscles ache. It means your body literally cannot push itself upward, regardless of how hard you try. Step 1 is the decline bomb. We start here because elevating the lower body creates the most mechanically difficult position in the sequence. Place your feet securely on an elevated surface, like a bench or a chair. Plant your hands flat on the floor and begin pushing. Continue the movement until your form breaks down completely. The exact visual indicator that you have failed on this step is the moment your chin can no longer reach the floor. Lactic acid will build up fast, creating a severe burn in the chest and arms. Ignore the burn. You only stop the set when absolute mechanical failure takes over and the joint stops moving. Initiating the sequence with this steep decline forces your chest and triceps to utilize their maximum power output right out of the gate. You tap out the strongest muscle fibers before cumulative fatigue sets in for the remaining steps. The rule for transitioning between the stages of this ladder is strict. There is zero rest and zero hesitation. The moment you fail on the decline, immediately step down to the floor. This is step 2, the full rep grind. As you lower into that first standard push-up, your chest and triceps will feel incredibly heavy. Your arms are already pre-exhausted from the decline. In this horizontal alignment, the upper body lifts 64% of your total body weight. When reps fail, you move to step 3, incline relief. Elevating your hands shifts the angle upward. The metric drops, placing a lighter percentage on your arms. Even with that lighter load, pushing a deeply fatigued body upward is grueling. The pace of the reps will slow down to a crawl as you fight against the heavy resistance. This calculated reduction in the angle of resistance is intentional. It allows you to bypass the initial failure point you hit on the floor, forcing the muscles to keep working until they achieve a secondary failure. Once you fail on the incline, you move directly into the final stage, the knee finisher. Drop your hands back to the mat, but keep your knees on the floor. This provides the easiest mechanical advantage possible, allowing you to squeeze out the very last drops of energy from your upper body. Do not stop at a nice round number. The required physical endpoint for this entire 4-step ladder is a complete collapse onto the mat. It ends exactly here. The upper body loses all support, the arms give out, and you drop flat against the floor. Pushing the muscle until it can no longer move, even in its easiest mechanical variation, creates a massive metabolic demand. This level of total exhaustion forces the nervous system and muscle fibers to adapt to a volume of work that standard training cannot replicate. Lying flat on the floor after that final rep, you will be severely short of breath. That is the exact target outcome. This graphic outlines the required volume. To force the muscle growth, you need to run through this complete 4-step ladder 2 to 3 times per day. You pair that daily frequency with a schedule of 3 to 4 days per week. The days off are absolutely mandatory to ensure that deeply exhausted muscle tissue has time to repair and grow stronger. An amateur trainee limits their discomfort by stopping at 10 reps, ensuring they stay well away from actual muscle failure. Executing this program requires an aggressive approach where you actively seek out the failure point. Comfortable, fixed-volume routines keep you exactly where you are because they don't challenge your structural limits. Breaking the 100-rep barrier requires embracing these progressive drop sets to exhaust the muscle completely and force a new level of endurance.